Hello everybody and welcome to part 6 of our top 100 games of all time for the year 2023. Today we are doing 50 through 41. I am Michael.
And I'm Janela.
So let's get into this. This is Gaming Up with the Joneses.
My number 50, I have Merchant's Cove.
Oh wow.
Does that surprise you at all?
Yeah.
This what?
I thought, yeah, that makes sense that I like it more than you, I think. So yeah, that makes sense because I haven't mentioned it yet.
This is a game we own. It's been a little bit since we played, but just like many games that we play, I feel like when we get the game, we play it like a lot, and then it kind of gets stored, and then we don't play it for a while again.
We played it like 3 times the first 2 days, and then
yeah.
It's because you forget how to play, and then you don't want to learn the rules again. I think that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this game is super interesting. You have a big old board with a points tracker around it. You have like little boats on one side that you'll have different colored meeples on, and then you have like different actions in the center of the board as well that you can do with buying cards. And then you're rolling dice, I think, too, right?
If you are the blacksmith, you roll dice.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So then there's like 4 different character roles, I believe. I think I played as the alchemist, I want to say.
Probably.
I can't remember for sure. But yeah, there's different roles. I think there's more to the game that we haven't tested out as well.
We haven't played all of them because I've played as the blacksmith and I've played as the captain. The captain is a little spinner. Everybody, it's an asymmetric game, so everybody plays their own way, and then everybody sells to the merchants the same way after. But you produce your goods a different way. Everybody produces differently. But yeah, I don't know.
This game is like the way that they made it. It was so big to where like everything fits into the box. There's actually like cardboard above the actual box, so when you close it, it doesn't close all the way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so that is my number 50, Merchant's Cove.
My number 50 was 35 last year, so it's dropped 15 spots. And you still have not played this. I have only played this on the app on my phone against the computer. I don't think I've played against a person. It is an asymmetric abstract strategy game called Onitama.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe it's higher than chess because I named chess last one. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
But Onitama is like an easier version of chess with cards, and there's 5 cards you got that you play in each game, but you have a group of a bunch of different ones, so you just choose 5 random ones to play that game, and then each player gets 2 of those cards, and then you play a card to move a person the movement spaces that the card shows, but when you play the card, it goes to the next player so they can use that next time. So you're trying to remember the 5 different cards going around and who has what and who can move where. And there's 2 different ways to win. You either capture the top guy of the other ones, I don't remember what it's called. Basically like a king, but like a Japanese version of a king or something. And then, or you make yours go all the way to their side of the board where they started. And it's the way of the water and the way of the stone is what it's called when you win one way or the other. But yeah, it's a really simple game, and that's my number 50, Onitama.
My number 49 is Smartphone Inc.
I don't think I've named that. Oh, I
Yeah,
did.
you
That
have.
was on my
That
list
was
last
a little
time.
bit lower. Yep. So on our first crossover for this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you mentioned in that video, Smartphone Inc. It's a super interesting game. You're literally trying to like produce cell phones. You have a big old board with a bunch of different maps. They give you different abilities to kind of help your production of cell phones. And one thing I kind of enjoyed of the game too, that I can't remember what other game has it, but like the little inserts for the cubes is like super cool because you can like insert the cube and you don't have to worry about like
spilling.
About it spilling. And then the point system too. Don't mind our dog in the background. The point system has like this cool like multiplication table too. So if you're not very good at math, it's pretty helpful. But for the most part, you don't really need to use it. Yeah. So But
it's just there to freak people out, apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, that is my number 49, smartphone. excuse me, Smartphone Inc.
My number 49 is new to my list, even though it is not a new game, and it is from Dr. Reiner Knizia. And I played it one time on Tabletop Simulator. I got second place. I almost won some, or did I win? I might have won. No, I think I got second, but I surprised myself. And you're auctioning off tiles and stuff because this is Raw. So in Raw, you have 3 different numbers that you can use to auction and buy tiles, and then they score different ways on your player board. So like if you get different ones of these kind or the same of these kind or whatever, and whoever gets the most points at the end wins. It's a pretty easy game, and it's pretty fun, I guess. So that's my number 49, Raw.
My number 48 is another game that you have mentioned earlier, I believe. Yeah, I think you have. It is One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was back a while ago. 59. That was my 59.
Huh? So, not too far off. Like we said in that previous video, which you should go check that out, this game is like a streamlined version of Ultimate Werewolf, where instead of having multiple nights, you just have one night. So everybody gets dealt a card of their specific character. And I think there's quite a few expansions to kind of add more characters to it as well. And then Michael actually has an app on his phone that will narrate the characters for you. So it'll say, this character, wake up, and then close your eyes, and then kind of narrate to each character. This is a really cool game for new gamers. So if you're trying to have them learn a new game, this kind of narrates them through what their character role is. So it's a really entertaining game for our family, and we have bought just one expansion, I think.
I don't think we played it. You say we did, but I don't think we have.
Maybe not.
Maybe once.
But yeah, everybody enjoys it. But yeah, so that is my number 48, One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
Nice. Also, about that game, if you get the expansions, they're all standalone games too. So like, you can play the Daybreak expansion by itself. You don't need to get one night to play it. So there's like 7, I think, now, because there's superheroes and vampires and aliens and all that stuff. So yeah. What are we on, 48? My number 48 is new to the list this year, and we've only played it one time, even though you keep saying we played it twice. Maybe we played it twice. Was it on your list already? It is a worker placement game. I think it was on your list because you have a giant tree, and I remember you talking about the tree. Everdale is my number 48. And in Everdale, you are placing your little creatures as a worker placement to get resources to build buildings as your cards. And other people can visit your buildings, and then you get money for them visiting your buildings. And you can also get shopkeepers and stuff, which I can't remember which way it is, but either you get the shopkeeper first and then you get the building for free, or you get the building and then the person for free. One or the other. I think it's the person first, right?
I can't remember. I think so.
Either way, that's where I kept messing you up, is because I kept doing those combos while she didn't. So I think that's why I did better at that. And then you have different seasons where you get all your workers back and then get an extra one. And after the 4 seasons, whoever has the most points wins. So, pretty easy game.
He says that we've only played this once, but I know for a fact we've played it twice because I remember you beating me twice.
I don't think so.
Yes. I'm right, he's wrong.
Alright. Well, anyway, we need to play it again because that's my number 48, Everdale.
My number 47 is Black Fleet.
Oh.
You haven't mentioned this game yet.
Not yet.
Interesting. Okay. So this game, we haven't played this one in a little bit, but we've played this one quite a bit. This game is a pirate type of themed game. You have a board in the center where everybody will start out with a pirate, a merchant, and then in the center of the board you'll have a purple navy ship and then a yellow navy ship. So each player will take a turn based on what their cards say to kind of move their merchant, their pirate ship, and then the navy ships. Each player's pirate ship can attack other players' merchant ships to steal some goods from them. Oh yeah, there's goods on all around the game board table. So you're picking up goods and then you're trying to deliver it to get some coins. Like I said, the pirates are trying to attack the merchants by stealing those goods and then burying it and getting money that way. merchants are, again, like I said, trying to deliver those goods and get money that way. And then because on that same card that moves everybody, it also moves the Navy ships. So you're trying to see if you can move the Navy ships to your opponent's pirate ships, or sometimes you might move it closer to yours. So it's kind of like, do I move it closer to theirs? But oh shoot, but shoot, mine's like right there too. Because then if you move it closer to theirs on their turn, they might move it closer to yours. And so yeah, and then once your pirate ship, if it gets taken out by a Navy ship, you have to restart it off on one end of the board. So so if you're like in the middle of the board, then that kind of sucks. But yeah, that is my number 47, Black Fleet.
Nice. I actually have recently played this. I played it on Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop?
Tabletop, yeah.
Tabletop
Simulator about a week ago, and I taught a couple people, and I believe I got beat. So I must have taught pretty well if I lost. But yeah, what are we, 47? My number 47 is not only a crossover, but it's a crossover with this video. Something you've already mentioned.
Merchant's Cove?
Yes, it is Merchant's Cove. It is new to my list this year. We already explained it, so it's asymmetric. You got 4 powers. I can't remember what the 4th one is.
What is
I remember
it called?
Captain, Alchemist, Blacksmith, and...
It's like Coriander... I can't remember.
Oh yeah, it was a weird name.
It was a weird name.
But... yeah, it's got a little bit of worker placement. I think when you're selling, I think you move somebody towards to show who you're selling your goods to. And then depending on what color it is, the people there can buy it. Because they all have different colors too. The people you're selling to. It's been a while. Some people really like this game, but it's kind of spendy. It was like $90. And then on top of that, there's a bunch of expansions. And each expansion adds 1 new character, I think. And they're kind of spendy too, but... if you like that kind of game, maybe you'll like it. I think people that like Root would like this game, even though I've never played Root. It's the same thing, asymmetric powers, but it's more of a merchant game instead of a killing each other game. But that's my number 47, Merchant's Cove.
Alright, my number 46 is a game you've already mentioned in a previous video, so yet another crossover. But in a previous video, I don't remember what it was on yours though. And it is NASCAR Champions.
Number 96.
Ooh,
so barely made my list.
Just barely made his list. If you want to watch or see how that game works, you should go check out that video. Somewhere over here.
It's on the. It's on our left because it's on your right, so it'll be over there. Card to click on.
Right up here.
Yep, and the playlist and all that stuff will be there too.
Yeah, really cool game if you're into NASCAR.
While you're at it, smash the like button.
For sure.
Ring the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff, so you don't miss our good ones when we get to the top 10 and all that stuff.
For sure. So that is my number 46, NASCAR Champions.
My number 46 is brand new to the list this year.
Ooh.
We've played it a couple times.
Where at?
Here.
Oh.
And we have both won once. And the last game was really close. And that is War Chest. So another asymmetric fighting game, kind of like chess. But you got a little bit of, I guess you would say bag building, because you're picking which ones you put in your bag. You draw 3 each round of different unit types, and then if it's not on the board already, you can put it on the board, or you can boost the one that's on the board, or you can use it to make ones move or do their ability. The whole point is to control 6 spaces on the board out of, I think there's 8. Is there 8 or 10? There's either 8 or 10, but whoever gets 6 wins.
I think it's only 8 for 2 players, and then I think it's 10.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, if you play with 4 players, the board gets a little bigger, and then you got more room. And then it's 2 on 2. So it's a game that's either 2 or 4 players. It's not 3 technically, but I think you could technically play as 3 if you had one person play as 2 people with 2 separate bags. So I guess you could play that 3. But yeah, that is my number 46, War Chest.
My number 45 is 5 Tribes.
Oh, wow.
I think this is a game he mentioned a while ago in a different video as well. Right? Yeah, you did. I remember. Where is it?
I don't know. This one can go all over the place. We just haven't played it in a while. I don't see it.
I swear you mentioned
Oh,
it.
63.
I was like...
Dang, that thing has dropped. That was 15 last year.
Dang.
But we haven't played it in over a year either.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we played this game, you have a bunch of tiles that you set out in the middle of the board or of your table. I keep saying board. You'll have a bunch of meeples of different types of colors that you'll throw in a bag, and you're placing 3 on each tile. And then on your turn, you're like picking up all 3 of them and just moving all 3 of them and dropping them.
Dropping one off at a time.
Yeah, at a time. And then whichever one that you drop off last, you have to make sure that there's that same color matches with the one that you're dropping off, because otherwise you can't do that.
Worthless.
Yeah, because when you end, you're picking up all of the meeples that are that same color. So you're trying to get all the same color, and then if you get take all of the meeples of that same color off the board completely, leaving nothing there, then you take control of that tile. So
you get to place a camel on it.
Yeah.
And I think I think you do the ability of the tile too.
I think so.
And you can get like genies to do stuff. I can't really remember what they do.
I can't either. It's been a little bit, like we said. And then there's another aspect to the game too that's like we mentioned in the previous video too. It's kind of like gambling for your position of whether you want to go first, so you can spend your money to be like, I want to go first because I want to be able to pick all these meeples up first on my turn, type of thing. So yeah, that is my number 45, 5 Tribes.
My number 45 is a game that we've only played once. It's new to the list, and we played it at an event almost a year ago. And it is a big board game.
Is it Nemesis?
I don't know if you can see it behind us, but we own it because we won it. I don't know how expensive this game is, but I think it's a very expensive game. But because we won the tournament, we got to keep the game, so that was really cool. But anyway, it's about 4 board games in one game at once, and it takes like 2 to 4 hours probably. I think it took a little longer because I had to explain it. Oh yeah, well you did. It's blood. It's what is it actually called? It is Vampire the Masquerade Blood Feud. I guess that's how you call it. We just call it Blood Feud. It's what you call a mega game though, so it's like more than just a board game. Like you go to separate rooms. And so you have teams of, you're supposed to have 4, but you can play with teams of 2 or 3. You guys choose which room you guys get to go to, because I think there's 4 different rooms. There might be 3.
There was 4.
There is?
Oh no, there was 3 and then
because
like a break room.
Because 2 can share one. Oh yeah. Yeah, because there's a break room and then there's 2 rooms on one side and 1 room on the other, I think.
Oh no, technically just 3 rooms then, because
you can share it.
Because you guys were able to go to that room, and then we were able to go to that room, and we couldn't like cross.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So if you're on the board where you're doing stuff in town, you can't talk to the people that are doing stuff that makes the changes on votes. They like vote stuff on that side. I was on the town side, so I don't know as much about the voting side, which I think I would love to be that part because I love to argue and like try to convince people to do that, which I think I still did in the middle part. I convinced people to like ally with us when they shouldn't have, and that's really what helped us win. And then they were a little upset at the end of the game because we backstabbed them. But one of our goal was like to kill people or something
from like that specific team. Yeah.
Yeah. So we like did a lot of stuff, but
yeah, that was a fun game.
It was. I wonder if we're going to play it again this year or if it's going to be a different one, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen much videos on YouTube about that. Maybe we can do something with that. It's just a big box. But that is my number 45, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Feud.
My number 44 is Dice Forge. You haven't talked about this one, have you? Okay. So yeah, this game is literally like the name says, you're like literally forging dice. Everybody starts off with the same type of die. It's just ones it's just money, right? It's just money and then like a gem and then like a moon or something like that. So
and then special ones.
So everybody starts off with the same type of die. We'll have cards in the center of the table that like you can buy that's the cheapest to the most expensive based on one type of
moons on one side and
yes, moons and then suns. So yeah, so it'll one side is moons and the other side is suns and moons. I just keep wanting to say gems.
Well, that's what they look like.
So yeah, so depending on what type of stuff you get, you can, by rolling your dice, you can spend them to buy the cards. How many rounds is there total? I can't remember.
Depends on how many players you're playing. I think between 9 to 10 or something like that.
Yeah, and so then you have a round tracker in the center. So then there's like the whole shop. So you can either spend your stuff on cards to add them to your deck, or you can spend them on like upgrades. So you're literally buying upgrades for your die, so you can throw out your measly 1 coin one and put a 3 coin, but nicer upgrades. They're obviously more expensive. So yeah, and he's really good at like balancing his die, I feel like, because
I just pick one and throw it on there and throw off the crappy stuff.
That's typically what I do when I swim.
I think I lost. I think you won because you kept buying those big point cards.
See, and that's another thing that I do is I save up all my stuff till the end and to where I can buy all the big stuff.
You can, I think both strategies actually work. Like you can just buy points and hope you roll them. Because if you buy a 4-pointer and you keep rolling 4 points, that adds up really fast because you roll every time it's another player's turn. So if there's 3 players, you get to roll 3 times that round. You get that 4 3 times, that's 12 points. That's a lot.
I think Nick did that a little bit because he had a bunch of points at the end that he was rolling.
Not only that, you can add that with your other die. You can get a 3 times. You might be able to roll the 3 times with it.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another thing, when you move your token to the board, you can kick somebody out of the space, but if you kick them out, they get to roll their dice again too. So it helps them if they're in a location that other people want to go. So instead of blocking people, it's the opposite on this game.
Which I like.
Yeah.
But then it kind of sucks too, because then you're allowing them to have another die roll, and it could be either awesome or it could suck for them too. So you never know. That is my number 44, Dice Forge.
My number 44 is new to the list. We've only played it one time because you did not have as good of a time. You did mention it though in the top 100. It's in your 90s, I think. And this is 2-player only, and it's worker placement. It is Targi.
Yeah,
Targi is a really cool game, which maybe you'll like it now if we played it again, because
99.
You take turns playing your workers, and then depending on where they cross, because you can only put them on the sides of the board, wherever they cross, they'll meet a different place on the board, which will always be a resource card of some sort, and you put a token there and you get that too. So you're trying to like not only get the good stuff around the board, but also cross in the right spot to get the stuff that you want in the middle, because you can get goods. I can't remember what they're really for. But it's been a while. It was a lower scoring game though.
I think you just beat me pretty bad at this game, and so then it tainted my experience.
We need to play it again. But anyway, that is my number 44, Targi.
At number 43, I have Sushi Go Party. So again, if you haven't watched a previous video, this is yet another crossover. This is where I won my golden ticket. So if you don't know what that is, go check that out. In the other video, we'll explain a little bit more about that. But we played this game quite a bit, but it's literally, you start off with a deck of cards in your hands. You have goals that you're trying to go for that will help you score points for the end of the game. Let's see, one of the main ones that I kind of go for is, I forgot what they're called. But if you get groups of them, you get quite a bit of points. So like 2 or 3 of them.
Depends on if it's the one, because there's one in groups of 2 and there's one in groups of 3.
I can't remember what it is.
To something?
Oh yeah, I think so.
To something, I don't know. I don't know much about sushi, so.
I do know the edamame one was pretty cool, because whoever like had the most edamame, you got to count it for everybody who had it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good if you're playing in a big group.
So.
Because there's more of that card.
Everybody, you play a card all at the same time, then everybody reveals it, then you pass your deck to the next person until you can't play anymore, or until you play your last one, and then you do your point system, except for the desserts. If you're doing desserts, for the most part, they have to be counted at the end of the turn, so you'll hang on to your dessert card.
At the end of the game.
Or yeah, at the end of the game. So because the desserts score differently. So it's if you have more desserts at the end of the game, then you can get quite a bit of points.
Yeah, they're worth a lot more.
And I think that's kind of
why
I beat you guys at that one, because I barely was able to get my 4th dessert, which gave me quite a bit of points, and I think I beat you by like 1 or 2 points to be able to get my golden ticket that night.
Yeah.
Because you were in the lead like the entire game. Like I was like mid-level the whole time.
And then just came back right at the last minute.
Came in clutch. That is my number 43, Sushi Go Party.
My number 43 is new to the list this year because we bought it right at the end of last year. And that is Long Shot the Dice Game. I can't believe I forgot what it was called for a second. Long Shot the Dice Game. It's a horse racing betting game. Almost, do you roll dice? Yeah, you do roll dice. So it's technically a roll-in, right, too, because everybody gets their own board that they ride on. You do start with a little bit of different stuff crossed out on everybody's boards to kind of spread out everything so people aren't doing the exact same thing from the start. But you can buy the horses, and then you get their ability, or you can... there's like 8 things you can do, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's almost like playing tic-tac-toe too, right? Because on the one side... Because you can... If you can't like do anything on bidding or anything, then you can just cross out like bonuses. Or to get bonuses on the other side. When you get 4 in a row,
you get the bonus underneath. You pick one.
Yeah,
which is
pretty nice.
Like moving other people's horses backwards.
Or moving your own, like
forwards.
4 spaces or something insane. Or moving like 2 of your horses a bunch of spaces.
But the thing is, if you do it too early, then everybody's going to start using theirs to move yours back to.
Yep.
And you can go from winning to like getting 5th.
Yeah.
So it gets crazy.
Yeah. Pretty fun game.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And that's my number 43, Long Shot the Dice Game.
My number 42 is another crossover from this video.
Wow, 2 in 1. I don't even think we've done that until today. What is it?
Are you going to guess?
Oh, am I supposed to guess? From this video?
From this video.
You Long Shot the Dice Game.
Nope.
Vampire the Masquerade Blood Feud.
Nope.
War Chest?
Yep.
Wow.
My number 42 is War Chest. I absolutely hated this game after the first time we played it because he beat me so bad. I was like a very, 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 very sore loser about it. But yeah. Well, because I think you like took control of one of the spaces that I was about ready to take control of. And then after that, you just like kept attacking all my people, and then I was like, I'm done. So, but
we did give it another chance, and it came down to we were tied. It was who could draw what they needed to go to, and she beat me by literally 1 like turn.
Yes,
so that was a close game.
But yeah, it's a fun game. We need to keep playing it some more and try out the different characters because
some of them look overpowered that we haven't even used yet.
Yeah, we've only played it twice, so we haven't used all the characters. So that is my number 42, War Chest.
My number 42 was number 12 last year.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think we've played it this year or within a year. Maybe we have, because it's a game that we like bring out once in a while when we like do things with more people. And it is Galapagos.
Oh,
which
interesting.
I would call a semi-cooperative game, I guess, because it's cooperative, but you don't have to play it cooperatively, even though it usually helps. It's just you start running out of food and water, and you're like, all right, who are we killing off? Because they're not pushing their weight. We need to get rid of them. Because the only way to win is to escape the island by building enough boats, but you need the same amount of boats as there is people to leave. So if you have like 3 boats and you know that the time limit's about to end and you have 4 people, you're going to kill a person so the 3 of you can win the game while that person didn't make it.
Get stranded on the island.
And it kind of sucks because like when you go to gather wood to build the boat, you can get bit by a snake or whatever and be poisoned. And then you have to sit out for a round, so then it puts a target on you. Well, this guy's not going to do anything this next round. Let's shoot him, even though he's the one that helped build the boat.
Yep.
So you basically steal the boat from him.
Yep.
So there's a lot of fun yelling at each other kind of a game if you like that. It's not really social deduction though, because
Not really.
Nobody has a roll or anything. But you do kind of have different cards. Like some people get guns, but they might not be able to shoot somebody unless they have
the
bullets. But
so
you can trade your stuff with each other and stuff too. So you could be like, "I'll give you my fishing pole if you don't shoot me," or something like that.
Yeah, there's one stuff that's pretty funny on the cards too. I think one of them's like underwear. It's like a completely obviously useless item, but it's a card that you get in the game.
Yeah, and it literally says, I don't know what you're going to use this for, but yeah, something like that. But anyway, that is my number 42, and it plays up to, it's 3 to 12 players, so it's a good game with a lot of people. I heard it's best 7 and 9. That's what they have on BGG. But that's my number 42, Galapagos.
My number 41 is a brand new game that we had just bought, and we've only played it 2 times. It is a bicycle game.
Flamme Rouge.
Yeah, Flamme Rouge. So this game, you can make like a track based on the difficulty you want, I guess. So you can go like uphill, downhill, or you can just do a normal track. So the very first time we played it, we just did normal track with the nothing. No uphills, no downhills to decrease or increase your card abilities. But yeah, you have 2 types of bicycles that you'll start off with. I forgot what they're.
You got the sprinter and the rouleur, whatever that word means. It's French. It's all like Flamme Rouge is a French word, I guess, because it has to do with the Tour de France and all the bicycle races. But it's your guy that like stays at a pace, and then your sprinter is like he goes slow, but then he goes really fast.
Yep. So yeah, you're trying to make sure everybody has like starts with the same type of deck of cards, so they can push their people like faster at the beginning or in the middle or at the end. But if you're pushing your people too fast, you can get
exhausted.
So okay, so that's what it is. If you have your people in the front a lot, then you can get exhausted cards. And then they don't decrease like your movement, but they're 2 movement only
on the
card. So if you get a lot of those in your deck, then you'll have to play them instead of your moving 9 cards. So I think that's where I was able to, because I won both games, was able to do good. I think that what helped too was starting at the top, like starting first, second, or third. I think the lowest I started was like 4th or maybe 6th.
But if you start first, then your next guy starts. Oh no, you're right, because it starts in the middle. Yeah.
But I would use like my mid cards, like moving 3 or 4 for a while, and then at the end have a boost, hopefully.
I think that's what everybody tries to do. It just doesn't work out sometimes. And then you throw in the hills and slopes and stuff, and it gets even more crazy, because then you're like, well, I'm just going to trash this 2 card now since it's downhill, because I get to actually move 5 even though it's 2. So on those ones, I think it is better to actually get out in front sometimes, because you're going to get exhausted, but if you use that card downhill, you still go to 5 that you would have won anyways.
Uphill, you can't do what?
You can't go faster than 5, so you basically want to play a 5 or lower card, because that's your max speed. If you do like an 8 or something, then you lose that 3 movement.
Yep, very fun game. That is my number 41, Flamme Rouge.
My number 41 is new to the list this year, and it is a game that I thought would replace Catan, but Catan's still higher, I think. And that is Space Base. Did you think it was going to be this low, or did you think it was going to be higher?
No, I think I expected it to be about here.
Alright.
Yeah.
Space Base is fun. You have a bunch of different cards from 1 to 12, and when everybody gets one of the resources, when you roll, so you roll on your turn, and then you can buy something, but everybody else gets to pick if they want to add both those dice together, or separate them for their own abilities too. You do the top ability if it's not your turn, and the bottom one if it is your turn. The bottom one is more powerful, but when it's your turn, it's a lot more rare. So that's kind of why. I think it's better at more players, but like it also takes longer too. So it's like harder to, maybe 3 or 4 is probably best. It goes up to 5. We've never played with 5, but 4 overstayed its welcome last time. So maybe 3. 3 might be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The game's pretty fun. You're basically just building spaceships, and then they combo off each other too when you start building more and more. Goal of the game is to get 40 points. So some cards will give you points, some will give you income, and some will give you just straight up money to buy on that round alone. And that's it, I guess. That's that one.
I think you go for the energy things too much.
Maybe.
I think that's why it hurts you.
Probably, I don't know. I don't know what I went for too much. Oh, I go for the weird abilities too much. That's what it is. Because I buy the weird stuff that it's there's just special ability cards that would be hard to explain unless you actually see the card. But that's my number 41 Space Base. So that is it for 50 through 41. Click the playlist. It will be a card right here that you can click on if you want to see all of these. You could go back and watch any of them that you haven't seen. Smash the like button. Comment what your 50 through 41 is. And we'll see you guys in the next video. I really want to see your guys' top games. Nobody's commented yet, and I'm really waiting for it. I know somebody's going to. Somebody else that's watching this has rated 100 games. I just know it. So let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.